So you are redrafting this year in a fantasy football league, and you want must draft running backs.
Come on.
Well, we're going to bring you two guys today that we are drafting in all of our redraft leagues, and that we believe in, and that we're going to advise you to do the same. I'll go first here with Tony Pollard. Current ADP, he's the RB 31.
Ooh.
Okay, players who are going around him: Rashad Penny, Michael Carter, Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon. Okay, let me tell you why you need to draft Tony Pollard. Firstly, let's look back at how damn impressive his 2021 season really was. Okay, over 1,000 all-purpose yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 36 receptions on 46 targets, finished as the RB 28. But more importantly, he was far more efficient than Zeke was. Far more efficient. And I think analytics will show that as well. Let's look at a Pollard versus Zeke efficiency here. True yards per carry, you can see Pollard 5th, Zeke 39th.
Yeah.
How about yards per touch? Pollard was 2nd. Zeke obviously in the mid 30s. Breakaway run rate, say that 3 times fast, 3rd versus 45th. Zeke was not having breakaway runs. Yards per route run, 1st. Yards per reception, 10th. Obviously amongst running backs. But you can see that Pollard was very, very efficient last year, and he was by far the best running back in Dallas. It wasn't even close. And because of that efficiency, we are continually seeing him get more and more opportunities within this offense. And I think Zeke struggling is going to just keep helping him. But let's look at the last 3 years, okay? Let's look at the snap percentage per game. You can see Tony Pollard, every single year, his snap percentages are going up. Zeke's are going down, and drastically. We're talking in 2 years, he goes from 84% to 65%. That's a drastic change. And look at touches per game. How about touches per game? You can see Tony Pollard, again, he keeps getting more touches per game every year. Zeke, they keep relying on him less because they know that they can't. They can't rely on him as much as they used to. This is kind of what happens when you go into the NFL and you take a beating for 4 or 5, 6 years at the running back position. You start to become a less efficient running back. That is just what happens. You pick up injuries. Your body's not the same. You don't recover as quick as you used to.
Yeah.
So it's obvious watching games. Even if you just like the eye test, Tony Pollard is the better running back in this backfield. He does more with the touches that he's been given. I mean, again, I said 5.5 yards per attempt. That is 5th best amongst running backs last year. And reports out of Jerryland already they're saying,
Jerry,
we're going to try and get Tony the ball in some very interesting ways. And one report that I heard was that they might start using him out of the slot a little bit more, which could be really interesting.
It would be.
And again, you look back at his efficiency, yards per route run, he was 1st amongst running backs. Yards per reception, 10th amongst running backs. So if you put those two things together, might make sense to maybe use him a little bit more in the slot as well, as he was really efficient in that area last year. So if the Cowboys are saying they want to get him more involved, if he's been continually getting more opportunities every year, if he was the more efficient running back, to me, like, I keep asking myself, what will his snap share really be this year? Like, could we see him actually reach like the 50% snap share?
Right.
And maybe him and Zeke are on the field more often together. I don't know, but I think he's going to be someone who absolutely like his ADP right now, RB 31. I don't have any doubt in my mind that if he's healthy this year, he's going to finish higher than the RB 31. I currently have him, I think, RB 25, if I'm not mistaken, in my rankings. And if you look at Tony, as far as what he had to say about this potential slot role, he said, I'm open to anything, just being on the field, being able to make most out of my opportunities. If I have to line up in the slot a little more, whatever it takes, I'm ready to do it. So you can see this is someone who is ready to be moved all over the field.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of when Austin Eckler started getting a better role in the Chargers offense. It wasn't instant. It happened over, a couple of years. They started to give him touches, and oh my gosh, he was so efficient with the opportunities that we gave him. Why don't we keep giving him opportunities? Keep getting him into the game plan, even though Melvin Gordon is still a good running back. He's not the running back he used to be, but he's a good running back. So, I'm not saying here that Pollard is going to be a top 5 running back, but RB31 is where he's being drafted. I do think there's no question in my mind he's going to beat that. So I'll be drafting him in every single league I can this year.
Yeah, Tony's the guy. I mean, sometimes
Tony.
sometimes you gotta trust Jerryland. When he says something, he's like, oh shit. Sometimes you get scared, or sometimes he will just slap you in the face and be like, you stupid.
Mm-hmm.
My must draft running back for you guys in a redraft perspective is David Montgomery. I actually really like Monty, and when I was looking into this, I was like, who can I get some value on? And I was like, oh, Monty is a great person. Oddly enough, he's RB17. And when I was looking at that, and I was like, this just seems wrong.
Yeah.
These are players going after Monty, running back specifically. J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, Elijah Mitchell, and Antonio Gibson. I'm pretty sure.
You said after. Sorry, did you mean before?
After. No. These people going after.
Oh, really? Okay.
And let me just say this. These are people going after David Montgomery in our mock drafts currently.
Okay.
Not saying they're ranked after Monty, but I looked back and I was like, let me look at our redraft, mock drafts, and these are the guys that went after him. Monty was RB. He was right with ADP RB17, which feels wrong, and I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm pretty sure you would draft each and every one of those guys I just said over David Montgomery.
I would say
it's tough right now because it's early.
Probably, yeah.
But like,
you're right.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. I was like, that's why this ADP seems wrong. Yeah. And I was like, Monty is a good guy, at least for me to bring for you guys as value. But if this is right, an RB17, I'm still going with it because I see him going, honestly, mid-5th. Early 6th, but according to the ADP, he's going as high as a 3rd round, right? So for me, when I looked back and looked at Monty, we saw what he did in 2020. He finished RB5, over 10 touchdowns, averaging 16 carries. He was 3rd attempts.
It was great.
It was great. And then 2021, finished RB20. Obviously, he did miss 4 games, but when I looked at that, I wanted to see, okay, where was he going to finish? I want to extrapolate that and say, where could he have finished? He would have finished RB6. He was on pace to being RB6 if he didn't miss all those 4 games. And I think right now, a lot of people have it in their head, kind of like the Josh Jacob effect. Well, he finished top 5 once. Can he do it again though? I'm not sure. I don't think he's not on a good offense, and he gets hurt now, and now there's another person behind him. I feel like we're forgetting about David Montgomery and what he has done in the past. Just this past year, he was averaging 17.3 carries per game, over 15 fantasy points. He was 9th in touches amongst running backs. The guy gets the opportunity. It's going to continue. Maybe it changes. And mind you, this is with Justin Fields on the field more than half of the time on the games. And he was 3rd in rushing attempts or top 5, excuse me. I want to say, I don't have the stat in front of me. But Justin Fields was taking opportunities away from Monty because he was running. He was running the ball himself. And you telling me he was still top 10 in touches amongst running backs? I don't see how this cannot continue coming into 2021. And this offense, in my opinion, is just going to get better. Well, not going to get better, but this offense is going to struggle, but David Montgomery is going to be used in a more efficient way, and I think he will get even better. I do believe he could have another top 5, top 6 finish, in my opinion, if it can continue. Once again, he was on pace to be a top 6 guy already. He's going to get the opportunity. And is there anyone that they brought in this past draft that's going to take that away from him? No. They brought in Velus Jones Jr. Everyone's already saying the Bears are going to suck. I hate how they're going to develop Justin Fields because they didn't draft anyone. They have Monty. They have Monty. They have Darnell Mooney. And I think that's what's going to happen. And I know there's a lot of Khalil Herbert believers. Let me tell you the touches that he got after Monty got back. Because we was like, well, Khalil had an opportunity when Monty missed those 4 games. I think he's going to continue with that workload. When Monty came back in week 9, this was Khalil's touches. 1, 4, 4, 1, 0, 2, 2, 4. Those are the touches that he got in the game. And he had less opportunities in the air than what I just told you. It's non-existent. Honestly, it's not going to happen for clear. I mean, I'll be really surprised if it does. And they say, you know what, we're going to go running back by committee, kind of just like the rest of the NFL. He's a good reliever back. He's a good guy that can. Yeah. He's a good change of pace just in case something happens.
Sure.
So for me, I think Monty is extremely efficient. We are forgetting about him, and he keeps falling. And I think he's going to continue to fall. I don't think he's going to be RB17 coming to this season. I could be wrong. I was looking at taking J.K., Josh Jacobs, Travis, Mitchell, and Gibson over Monty. And you telling me the community is already doing that? I don't think so. I think that's wrong. So in my opinion, I think he's more kind of like what you said. I think not what you said. You said Tony Pollard was your RB25. I feel like he's maybe RB20, RB21. I say probably as we get closer to the season.
Yeah.
And that's a great value, especially with a guy that has already finished as a top 5 running back and that has an efficient workload coming in.
Sure.
So keep an eye on Monty.
He's definitely going to have a workload. No question there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the opportunity is going to be there. And, when you highlight the fact that Herbert was really non-existent when Monty was playing, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And he had under 20 touches.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant. So
it's huge.
Or 20 rushing opportunities. Anyway, guys, let us know who are the running backs that you consider must draft guys. Comment down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/Fantasyland Fam.